And welcome everybody to another Smart Money Circle update. Today I'm very excited. We have with us Enrique, who's the co-founder and of a company that I'm going to be a customer of. I was just talking to him before we started recording. The co-founder and CEO of Wallbox. Ticker symbol is WBX, and the website is wallbox.com. Enrique, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Nice to be here, Adam.
So I always like to begin. Can you tell us a little about your journey and how you got to where you are today, please?
Yeah, so well, since I was a kid, I always wanted to have my own company. And actually, when I was 16-year-old, I created my first company with my father. So I was still in high school, and I created a injection molding company. So all these plastics that you have in a car, all of these are injected with injection molding. So what we were doing a part of that process of building the mold. And for 3 years it went very well, but then we had the 2008 crisis, and we had lots of customers that didn't pay to this company. So we failed, and then I continued with my studies. And when I was going to finish the university, I was doing industrial engineering, which here I'm from Spain. So in Spain, it's a very general engineering. You do mechanics, you do electronics, you do electricity. So you do a little bit of everything. And while I was finishing my studies, a company called A Plus Idiada, which what they do is all the testing for the automotive industry. So when you see a crash test or emissions test, any kind of test that you do to a car to make sure it's compliant, it's done by this company, Idiada. It's a global company, and they actually test the crash test for Tesla, for example.
Oh, wow.
So I became an intern in that company while I was finishing my studies. And what they gave me when I started was a summership intern. It was just for a few months. And they gave me the regulations of the new standard that was coming for charging electric cars. That was back in 2010. And the first electric cars were coming into the market. And that company that certifies things for the automotive industry was wondering if they could make money also with charging, with charging electric cars. So during that summer internship, what I did, I made a machine where you could connect one of the first chargers for electric cars.
Oh, wow.
And it will tell you if that charger is compliant or not. No, it was a very simple machine with few LED lights, and was telling, yeah, that works or not. But before leaving my internship, my manager at the time showed this to Nissan. Nissan was launching the Nissan Leaf at that time, one of the first electric cars in the market. And Nissan was super excited. I said, we need that. We need to make sure chargers are going to be compatible with electric cars, especially now that we are launching electric cars, and this is a new industry. So I was hired to go to the UK and Japan to work with Nissan on the launch of the new Nissan Leaf. And my responsibility was to ensure that things were compatible. No, and I was there for 3 years, and until the last. We started being just a company that was doing things for Nissan. We end up being all by default by the factor lab for Tesla, Volkswagen, Mitsubishi, Nissan, any car brand that was launching electric cars at that time. We were testing the chargers and the cars to make sure they were compatible. And then I decided to move to Tesla because Tesla was coming into Europe. That was 2014. And the US is a very different market than the European market, because US has a single grid, one subsidy for all. There's a lot of power available in people's homes in the US, and Europe is every country has a different grid, and every country has different voltages, different standards, different regulations. And because I knew about this when I was at Idiada, I was hired at Tesla to make sure that no one will stop buying an electric car because charging. So if you buy a Tesla, charging is not a problem. So
Right.
my job was everything. Was from training to the teams, having the right hardware to charge your electric car, having the right partners to install the chargers. So, everything that had to do with charging at home. And while I was at Tesla, my partners, which today some of them are my competitors, the charger manufacturers, many of them don't exist today, but at that time they were only focused on making public chargers for the street. At the beginning there were some slow AC chargers.
Yes.
That some of them don't exist even today. They were useless. I think they were not smart. They were very slow, and that's why these companies were focused on. And I say, look, we need to make chargers for the home. That's where most of the charging happens. That's the most convenient place to charge. It's the cheapest energy. No one wanted to make a charger for the home. So I decided to leave Tesla and to create my own charging company.
And that's Wallbox.
And that's Wallbox, yes.
I love it. What
8
year?
years ago.
8 years ago. Okay, that was my next question.
2015, yeah. We founded the company in 2015. And the company was the inception of the company was the 3rd of April of 2015. That was the day of I have two best friends. One was having his wedding that day, and the other is my co-founder. So during the wedding, which was my birthday, actually that was the day I became 30. So was the wedding, was my birthday, was the day the Wallbox was created. So we were in that wedding, and I was with my co-founder Eduard, and we were saying, we have to do something with the electric car. We can do the best charger in the world that can charge when energy is cheaper, that can use the most of your installation. So Spanish weddings are long weddings. I don't know if you've ever been in a Spanish
they're
wedding.
fantastic. I love them. Yeah,
but they start in the afternoon and until late at night. So I think, by 4, we started discussing 4 p.m. what will be the plan. At 8, we already had the first idea of a prototype at night. After a few gin tonics, we already had a name. And at 2 a.m. in the morning, we said, okay, on Monday, we leave our jobs and we create the company.
Wow.
And we shake hands. And on Monday, the company was starting.
Wow, that is fantastic. What a remarkable story. I love that. Yeah. So, Enrique, most of our audience here, they're large investors, independent, and or they're high net worth clients for financial advisors. And we love the story. So let's talk about the business. Can you tell us a little about Wallbox, the products and services you offer, how it works, so on and so forth, please?
Yeah, so at Wallbox, we do 2 things. One is that we do the boxes that you put in your wall to charge your electric car. And this can be a box in the wall or can be a super fast or hyper fast charger to charge your car in the highway. That's for what we are known the most. But the second thing, which is the most important and why our customers choose us, is that we do what's called energy management. We empower users to take control of their energy. So they, thanks to our features and our app and all our ecosystem, you can charge when energy is cheaper. So in many countries, the price of the energy changes by the hour. So we take advantage of that. We adapt to the power of the installation. So if you are in a small installation that doesn't have enough power, we make sure if you start your air conditioning or your electric oven, you don't trip a fuse. So we are always adapting to that power. And we even provide what's called bidirectional charging. So you can use your car, which is a massive battery. An electric car can power a home for up to 4 days. So if you will try to take the battery of your electric car and put it in your wall, it wouldn't fit. It's a massive battery. Yeah. So what we do is not only charge the battery, we can also discharge the battery and power the home to power when energy is cheaper, or in case of a blackout, use your car as a generator to power the home. So we have all these features that at the end what they provide is what's called energy management. That's the first thing. That's the key. That's the advantage of the company, and we do this at a global scale. We have presence in more than 115 countries. We are vertically integrated, so we take care of the design, the manufacturing, distribution, and even the installation of our products. And thanks to that, also we are able to provide very compelling and competitive gross margins today in the market.
I love that. So yeah, we're very early in this adoption phase. We were just speaking before we started recording. I'm looking to get into that and buy one of the units where it serves as a generator as well, because I live in Florida and we get hurricanes down there, and lots of times there's power out for several days. So why not, right? I love that concept. Let's speak, if you can, a little bit about some of your competitive advantages versus like, why should I buy a wall box opposed to buying something else, if you may?
Yeah, I think the first thing is what I just explained. You know, it's while most of the chargers just focus on putting energy from the grid to the car, you know, for us, that's a given. You know, the challenge here is that you are empowered to take the most of your charger of your car and manage your energy. You know, so 80% of the chargers we sell today have activated an energy management feature, and that can be from saving money to using cleaner energy. So, you know, what we see is that when people buy an electric car, after a few months, they end up buying solar panels because the price of electricity increases because they consume more energy. And you can save a lot installing solar panels. So our chargers, what they do is they talk with your solar panels and make sure you only charge when energy is green or when energy is cheaper. You know, these kind of features where at the end energy it's used in a smart way. That's the first reason why people choose us. The second one is the second one is the design. You know, at the end, your car is a beautiful piece of design. You want a small product that can look good in front of your home. So we have very compact and very aesthetic products. And finally, it's our global presence and the fact that we can sell our products everywhere. You know, selling this kind of product is not just having an office or a website in every country. You need to have certifications. You need to be compliant. You need to be compatible with all electric cars in the world if you want to sell everywhere. So today we are compatible with all the cars in the world, in every continent, in every country, and we have the certifications and the compliance to do that, which is key for our customers and especially for car manufacturers, that they need partners that can support them everywhere where they are.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's really fantastic. So the wall box works with just about any EV. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then you mentioned you have multiple, well, I know you have multiple products. So one is just the charger itself. The other one's where the car can be a generator for the house and also charge as well.
Yes,
now,
correct.
Then all the energy management, is that available on all the different products you offer?
Yes. So it's embedded in the charger. Obviously, if you have a bidirectional charger, you will have extra features, you know, like power generator or charging and discharging, but all the chargers are compatible with our app, and that enables you to manage energy at home.
I love that. Okay, let's talk about some timeless lessons that you've learned along the way. Shift gears for a second. What would you like to share? Because you've been an entrepreneur from a very young age, which I love, by the way. By all means, the floor is yours.
Well, timeless lessons. So for me, the first one, it's around people. You know, you are as good as your team and as the people you have, and that's the key. And at every stage of the company, you have to look for the right people for the company at that moment. You know, and when you're starting the company, you need a profile of leaders in the company. When the company grows a little bit and you know you start having revenue and your problem is not making a prototype anymore, your product is selling at scale is another problem. And when you need to start making money while you grow and hyper growth is another problem. So having the right people in every step is key. And it's not only about that they are the right people, it's also you need to have a little bit of I call them racing horses or horses that pull the car, you know. So you need to have both profiles, you know, because a racing horse is a horse that is hard to manage. You know, we will try to make you fall from it. But if you want to win races, you need racing horses. No, so you need a little bit of everything. So you need the right people with the right profile, but also that has the drive win, even if something is hard to manage these kind of people. For me, that's the number one, and the number two, it's intuition. Follow your intuition, because when you don't follow it, eventually you realize that you are convincing yourself to not following, and for me that's a very important part also. And the last one, it's choose the moment where you are gonna do so be aware of those moments when you can push more or less. So you have to be always flexible and understand the situation where you are.
I love that. So let's talk about risks. What are some risks you've seen people make? Let's talk about risk a little bit. What are mistakes and mistakes? How do you handle risk is the first question. And then what are some timeless mistakes you've either made or you've seen other people make, and how do you avoid them?
Yeah, so the risk, I think it depends on the stage where the company is. When you start a company, you have to do whatever is best for the company always, but you can take a lot of risk because you don't have anything to lose, or very little to lose.
Right.
As long as you fulfill the promises and you are honest with the people around you and you are doing the best for the company,
Right.
there's a lot of room for risk. And I think many times entrepreneurs, when they start, they try to protect something is nothing, something is not valuable. And if you're trying to achieve leadership, and being a leading company in the world, you have to take risk. And the best moment to take risk is when you're starting, and as you grow, this starts to change. Now we're a public company, and my job is a little bit different. My job is reduce risk and increase value.
Right.
Before that, my job was don't care much about risk, increase value.
Right.
So you have to be aware in which stage of the company you are, and what your shareholders and what the company needs from you. So I think being aware of where you are and what is expected, or what the company needs from you, as long as you do the best for the company, that's important. And now I'm in a different situation. I understand that I have to reduce risk, because that's what the market and shareholders look for in a company like us, while we increase growth. So playing both, while also is a new business. We are in a new business. We're in a new market.
Right.
You have to take risk, and sometimes we make a product that is not as successful as others. That's a risk we can take. Where when we started the company, we could take bigger risk. So that's, I think, playing both is the key.
I love that. And then let's talk about some timeless mistakes, please. Either you've made them or some you've seen along the way that you'd like to share with the audience.
So mistakes. I think I cannot choose. I cannot talk about others, but my mistakes have been always related with people at the end. Trying to convince myself that this person is the right one for that phase, and you, in your intuition, it's not, or even delaying something you have to do, but you commit yourself to delay it because it's not the right thing for the company now. And when you see something that doesn't work, or someone that doesn't work well for the company, you have to do it quickly. And my problem is in the past, when I started the company, was that I took a little bit more time and I gave too much opportunity, and at the end was painful for the company, for me, and for the person. So that's the first thing. If you see that someone or something doesn't work, solve it quickly. And I think the other part is, when you are going to a company goes into steps. I was talking, especially when you start, you are focusing on what's best for the company always, no? But it's your company, so you don't have to tell anything to anyone. There's no investors, so you make the decision you think is best for the company, and there's no one to discuss. But when you start having the first investor, you try to overthink it. I have to do this because the investor, and again, no, it's your company. You do whatever is best for the company. Right. And when it's a public company, again, you start doubting, should I do something different because now I'm a public? No, You do what's best for the company and what you believe is best for the company. So be true to what you believe is the best for the company at every step for the company, and treat the company like it's 100% yours, and putting the company first, I think is the key. And sometimes when the company evolves into a next chapter, you are a little bit out of place, and you think you have to wait for others to approve you or to discuss something, and this doesn't change. It's still your company. You are the responsible. It's a small company, or if it's a huge multinational, you have to do what's best and what you believe is best, and don't wait for others to tell you.
No, that is absolutely brilliant. I love this. I love you. I love what you're saying here, what you're sharing. I think you're absolutely brilliant here with the lessons you've learned, the mistakes, how you handle risk, how you evolve, following the intuition. I think is absolutely brilliant. Most people don't do that. They don't trust themselves, or they just don't do it. They're not even aware of it. Okay. You're a leader at a young age. You took a company public in your 30s, which, by the way, hats off to you. I absolutely just love it. What makes a great leader?
Great leader is, for me, it's the key is lead by example. So I never ask for anything I have not done or I will be doing. So the example is key. And great leaders are the ones that get the most from you, I think, even if it's tough or so there's people that think that great leader is the leader that tells you what you want to hear and give you everything what you want. I think that's the worst leader.
Yeah.
The best leader is the one that keeps you engaged, making you do things that you didn't know you could do or are hard, because at the end of the day, the sense of fulfillment and achieving something great is incredible, And many times leaders, I think they get confused and they think, I need to give more to be a better leader. You have to give more engagement. You have to give more purpose.
Right.
If you give that, 99% of the time, it's amazing, the result. If you just have to give more money and no challenge, no responsibility, nothing. That never works. So lead by example and engage the people and challenge the people, to improve as a person. I think that's the key.
I love this. So you've had the entrepreneurial spirit since you were a child. Just curious, going back there, what was it that made you fall in love with being an entrepreneur and being in business?
I don't know. I always seen my father and my grandfather, being with companies, and I love projects. For me, the project and having something to do and to grow and to make successful, making projects is what I love. And then when a project is a company, it's even more beautiful, because it's a machine, that you have to make work. And I'm an engineer, so I see companies like machines. So it's the best of everything, a project, a machine that solves problems. So it's I think it's my engineering, the engineering in my blood that wants to make companies and make projects.
No, I absolutely love. My wife is a chemical engineer, and she's the smart one in the family. I always tell people I'm lucky if I can tie my shoes. So I really respect the way that the engineer minds work, and same with my father-in-law. He's an engineer as well. And I love how you just said that you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it because you love to solve problems, you love the project, you love the machine component, and you happen to make money secondarily, but that's not the primary motive there. That's really, really powerful. So let's talk about adversity. I know lots of great leaders, and I'm sure you've dealt with adversity as well. You shared the story with your earlier company failing. How do you handle adversity? What are some examples you can give, or advice you would give with respect to most people when they fail, or they see something, they fail, they hit adversity, an obstacle, they look away from it because it's painful and they shut down and they don't overcome it. How do you overcome it, and how do you handle it, if you don't mind?
I always tell my team, we are a company. Companies are machines that solve problems, are problem-solving machines. And what we want is always bigger, better, and more complex problems.
Wow.
because that means that our company is bigger, better, and more complex. So, you have to get used that it's always going to be a bigger problem as if the company gets bigger, and if I had the problems and the challenges that I had when I started the company, probably I would have not made it, because it's you as a person, you're not ready to deal with this level of complexity. And probably if today I had the problems that other huge companies are having today, I would have been able to manage, because you have to grow with the company complexity. You have, if not, you cannot be in the company. And accept and embrace adversity, because that means that your company is getting more complex. That means that your company is getting better, and that's your job: solve problems.
Absolutely love it. I think that is one of the best answers that I've ever heard with respect to handling obstacles and the problem-solving machine. Solve bigger problems, you grow, and then you grow as you solve those problems. Enrique, that was absolutely fantastic. I guess the last question I have for you is, what's the best piece of advice that you'd like to share with the audience?
The key, and I repeat myself here, but is have the best people around you. Make sure you have the best people for every step of the company. I think that's the key. When you are not making money or when you're not selling anything, you need a skill set. When you are at another level, you need other skill sets. So and be always quick, even if it's hard. Ensuring when you need to change these people, or because many times people doesn't grow with the project. I am able to grow because I'm not specialized in what I do. My job is to finding the best people for every step. So as long as I realize what the company needs and who's the best people for that, I'm going to stay in the company. And understanding, but the specialized positions are more difficult to grow into. It's more difficult to grow from 0 to $1 billion in revenue. Yeah. Normally there's few people that can do that. So probably we'll need 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 people in the middle. No. So realizing that, and even if it's at the beginning, and some people that was at the beginning with you has to step down to another position, is what you have to do. And that, for me, the moment I realized that is when really we have been doing what's best for the company all the time. The company is first, the company goals are first, and we have to have the best people for every morning in the company.
I love it. I love it. Well, Enrique, thanks so much for coming on the show. Investors, ticker symbol's WBX. The website is wallbox.com. If anybody wants to go out and buy it, by all means, I'm going to be the first customer here off of this interview. So thank you so much as always, and hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
Thank you.